Welcome to Stock Talk. This is your host, Scott. Hope you've had a good week of trading so far. Not a whole lot going on in the market this week. Kind of flat, really, to tell you the truth, especially the last couple of days. I do think we've reached some new highs on the Dow and the S&P. I think it's earlier than a week, or maybe even today. But NASDAQ was down a little bit today. Other two were just barely up. So not a bad day for the markets, really. But I've actually gotten clobbered today, especially, mainly because of some of the larger holdings I'm holding. Took a pretty good hit today as far as the portfolios go and the cash account goes. Things like Novavax, MSTR, also your Tesla's got hit pretty hard as well. So what do you do when things like that happen to your portfolio? If you have the cash to put to work, then you want to go in and add to these stocks that you're pretty confident in. That's exactly what we did. So we'll talk about that as we look at our portfolio, and so we'll just go ahead and just jump right into that. So here's our portfolio. As you can see, we have a lot of red today. Some of them quite red. Took some good hits on several of them here, but a lot of red in the charts here. You can see to the right here, all these charts are red from the get-go. There were a few that were green. We'll talk about those and what the status is of those. But ARKX and ARKK, they were both in the red today, but they haven't been doing too bad. Matter of fact, I think it's the ARKK that we're up on pretty good, and also the ARKK were up as far as the portfolios go. So we could cash those out if we wanted to, but we're not quite at the percent, I don't think, on where I want to be yet on those. But you can see here a 5-day chart. It's an upward trend on the 5-day chart. So that's what we're looking for. And this one here, even today, it was down, but if you look at the last few days, it had gotten a real good bump there. So it's really just about from Monday. If you look at Monday, start of Monday, it was probably, pretty close to even, not too bad for the week so far. And the ARKK, very similar movement there. I mean, ARKX, very similar movement there. Let me go back to that one. But these are the ETFs that are managed by Kathy Wood, very aggressive person as far as managing funds. And so don't get in these if you don't want to be pretty aggressive. But that's what she goes for, the high growth things. And that's good. This one's our space exploration innovation ETF. Just to show you some of the, let's see what some of the holdings are in this one. I bet you Tesla's probably in this one as well. But let's see if it even shows us here. Yeah, it doesn't really show us what's in it. Let's see here. Usually you can click on holdings and you'll see pretty much what is it holding as far as stocks go, but it shows here not a whole lot of information. Let's see if the other one has anything on it. Let's get back to that screen. Let's go to the ARKK. Let's see, maybe it'll show us. Let's see. It does show us the sector weightings, and this one a little bit better than the other one. The other one just doesn't have the information there. Here's our holdings. Tesla, you got Tesla. The other one just must not have the information updated in it yet, but Tesla, Roku, Square, Teladoc, Spotify, Zillow Group, Zoom, Shopify. So that's what's in there. Majority of it being Tesla. So this one's going to reflect a lot of what Tesla does, but Square had a real good day, so that's good. It was at 5% of that. So not a bad little ETF. So if you like to own those stocks, that's one way of doing it. You don't have to buy all the stocks. You can just buy ETF, and that's what we did. Okay, so it's just a way to put money to work and kind of spread it out a little bit more instead of just having it all in Tesla or all in, Roku or something like that. You can kind of spread it out by buying these ETFs. All right, MSTR. That's the one that got clobbered today. $48 down, 6.87%. This is a rather large holding. It's reflecting Bitcoin, and Bitcoin did take a dip today. So anytime it takes a dip, you can bet this is probably going to take a dip as well, and it did. So it's acting like it should, but we're okay with that. We understand that's the way this one works. So it's okay. Apple. Let's just take a look at MSTR's chart, 5-day chart, real quick. You can see you're still, even though took a whack day from last Wednesday, it's still up a tad. So sometimes you just got to go back a little further in the chart and take a look at how you're doing. Some of these days, like today, you think, oh my goodness, but you don't have to worry about it. When you go back a week and look and you say, oh, I'm up. So Apple's good and green today. That's a good one we've got into recently. Nice climb today and just managed to close on just about the high, it looks like. Very close to the high. Let's take a look at that 5-day chart for Apple, and you see it's a nice trend here. And we've had that one a little while, so we're up pretty good on that one. Yeah, so that's good. All right, let's go back to the portfolio. So Apple was one of the green ones today. Let's see, we got Square. Square was up really good. It actually almost got up. I had a sell order in at 250. We would have been making about 13-14%. We hadn't had it very long, and we're still up over 10% on this one. So very good stock for us so far, and we've got a nice little size position in this one. Let's take a look at that 5-day chart on Square. You can see that's a nice little gain from 227 all the way up to 245, almost 250 today. You can see it got to 249.90. Take a look at this month chart. You can see the nice little run from this bottom here. So we're getting back close to this top right here for the month. So that's kind of one reason I was trying to sell. Also, I was trying to get some more Tesla with the dip. So while the market was dipping on Tesla, so I wanted to pull some of that money out of there and put it in Tesla. So I got whacked today, 30%, $20, $20.65. But it's been doing pretty good lately. Let's take a look at the 5-day chart. You can see it's up from 652 to 671 in a few days there. Let's take a look at that 1-month chart. You can see it did get all the way up here the other day. I did not sell, even though I was up over that 6% level. But I was thinking it might break out because it had some really good news about the production levels, but it didn't break out like I expected it to. So if it gets back up around that $700 level, we may cash out, just depending on how the market's doing and how far it gets above it. But you can see it's gone all the way up to 883. The actual high on it's 940 cents. So if it can break out of this, you can see it's at this top level here twice, and actually a third time if you count over here. But once it gets out of there, there's probably no stopping it till it gets up to these levels here, at least that dip level there. So you'll get close to 800 before it slows down, I think. If it breaks that $705 level, 77, yeah, about 707, 708. So if we can get to about 710, 715, it could easily get up here to this next level of 790 something. So that's kind of what I was hoping for before I cashed out on it. But don't believe anything's going to be a problem there. Just hanging on to it. Matter of fact, I was Did add to it today at 674.50 in one account that I had cash in, and we are all in right now. I'm sitting in a 2% cash level, so all my money's at work right now. But with that said, um, even though I'm at a 2% cash level, I'm holding a bunch of winners right now. So I could cash all those winners out and I'd be right back to 40% level cash. So I'm not going to, I'm trying to get my mindset, I want this money in there working. And as long as I've got green ones, I can sell them and then, get cash on the sideline. Of course, if it's a terrible day, that could all change in a heartbeat, but I doubt I'd lose the 40% worth. So we could probably get down to 30% cash if we had to. But anyway, we're going to see. I just hate to sell them when they're doing so good, and some of them are, Tesla included. We're in the green on that one. U.S. Steel we don't own right now. We're still waiting for that to get back down to that 17 level, anywhere around there. Let's take a look at the chart. See, this level here, 1957 would probably be a good level. Even these levels here might be good, 2062. But I'm probably going to still wait for here, 2021 maybe. But not in a hurry to get in that one. It doesn't really. I don't feel like it's moving really good right now. It's kind of going up and down. As a matter of fact, it looks like it's heading back down. So that could all change. PayPal, another good one that's in the green for us. We're holding this one. I think we're up 3 or 4% on it. Day charts, nice little trend there. So that's one that we could cash out on if we wanted to. But not a bad little run it's got going. A nice little chart that looks like a good steady flow up. Hut MF down 9% today. It took a pretty good lick today, 69. I didn't even really realize I had done that bad. Let's see what 5-day chart looks like. Yeah, that's pretty good lick off 5 days too. We had gotten all the way up here to the $8 level, but this is tied to Bitcoin, and you can see when Bitcoin gets clobbered, this is going to get clobbered. So that's just understandable. If we're holding that one for Bitcoin to hit, everybody's talking about Bitcoin going to 100,000. It's been hitting 60, and when it hits 60K, it's been pulling back down to 5,500, 55,000 or so. If it ever breaks that 60, it could be well on its way to that 100K everybody keeps talking about. And then this one will go up with it. So will Tesla. So will Mstr. So it's kind of why we're playing those as well. Novavax took a pretty good lick, only about 4% though, nothing terrible. Still waiting on the news. I'm thinking within the next couple of weeks we'll have some news that's going to make this one do something, and it should make it go up. I'm thinking it's going to be back in that 230, 240 range at some point in the near future. I'd be very surprised if we haven't hit a 230, 240 level by the end of this month. But we'll see. We'll see. That news has to come out, or it's not going to do anything. I've said it before that the trend's probably going to be down. If the trend's probably going to be down if the news doesn't come out, and it's held up pretty good really over the month. See that month-long chart? It's barely down really, and the news hasn't come out. So when the news comes out, it's going to do this kind of thing here. All right, so since the last news, this was the last good news, and now we're waiting on some approval news. So this is what happens to it as the news is not coming out. This is what happens. It just floats back down. So that's the history. If you go back and look, this is the way it acts. Go back a year chart, you can see when the news stops, it kind of dies down. But anytime it gets some good news, pops up there. This thing has a high of 331.68. I'm thinking it's going to hit the 230, 240 range on the next news, but it could keep on going back up to this level here. I hope so. I probably won't have it very long because if it gets to 230, 240, my trigger will probably go off. I'll probably pull the trigger because it'll be a good little gain and it's a pretty good stake. SPCE down 4%. This is Virgin Galactic. Haven't been real happy with this one. Got in a little too high on it too, but it's holding steady. I mean, let's see, about last month or so, it's still holding pretty steady. Just not back up there to where we bought at. And we've got SH. That's our short of the S&P. You can see it was pretty flat, and the S&P was pretty flat. So that's kind of to be expected. TLRA. TLRA down 6%. Pot stocks aren't doing a whole lot right now. You can see this big spike right here, and this is where I chased it, which is a no-no. And so that's a no-no. And we're way up here. So this may be a 2-year hold, or if something crazy run gets going again. But we'll just hold it. It is our top winner for the year so far because we held the last ones that we bought crazy. We bought some last time at 155 and I forget, 80 something. Our cost averaged it down to like 24, and we made pretty good money on it this year. So, but I'm not going to cost average it right now. I've got to see a good trend start going before I start thinking about cost averaging that. And I don't have it in but one account, so before I cost averaged it, I would start putting in these other accounts. All right, and Nikola. This is the one that's killing us. It's an electric truck company, really. The history is, that they had a CEO that was really pushing the stocks, and they kind of pushed him out because he got a little carried away on some of it, I think. And but it's now today they had this key executive heading fuel cell development that left evidently. So just more bad news, and that's the least thing it needs is bad news. And so you can see what's been happening to this thing. The CEO sold his stock the other day. Now we got this guy leaving. So anytime you got these kind of news things coming out, you're going to have a hard time. But you can see that this thing was way up here to $65, and then we're already all the way down to 12. We're in probably down about 50% at least on this one. And it's a pretty good stake. So that's the bad thing about this one. There's a pretty good stake in it. Cost averaged it too quick. And we'll see if that, sometimes you got to hold them. This is the new company. And, if you go back and look at the history of Tesla, it has some rough starts as well. So these are things you can either sell out of it or you can hang on to it and see if it turns around. And I'm the type that I'm just going to hang on to it. I am not going to sell it now because it's too far down for sure. But you can see it went all the way up to 93, it looks like, at one point. That's crazy. So maybe they get back there one day. You never know. All it takes is a little good news and it starts heading in the right direction. And these things can really get going sometimes. So you have to keep all of it in perspective and be patient. Again, the Warren Buffett, the stock market is where impatient people give patient people their money. So I'll stick around. If somebody wants to give me their money, I'll hang in there 2 or 3 years if I need to. So just gonna try to see if I can cash out on some of these maybe this week, so I can have, for two reasons. I'd like to pocket money every month. We haven't pocketed any this month, I don't think. I can't remember this month, but we had a good month last month. We had a good month of pocketing every month. So we need to pocket some, and we could pocket a good bit right now, but we just choose not to. I'm just kind of keeping those things invested right now. We got some that I know are going to turn at some point. It's just a matter of time, and we just got to wait that out. And other than that, like I said, we're all in, so there won't be any more buying until we sell something. And this is a place that I don't like to be, but I don't mind being there when I'm holding winners. It's when you go all in and you're, you put it into your losers. A lot of times you're cost averaging. So even though you're doing the right thing, a lot of times you're putting a lot of cash to work that you can't use for a while because that stock's down, and you're cost averaging to try to get your cost average up so you can get green quicker. So, but what that does is that ties that cash up for a longer period of time. So it's a good thing when you got green ones that you can sell tomorrow and get cash for it. And so that's kind of where we're at. So we're all in, but we've got a lot of green that we can cash out tomorrow to get back to 40% cash if we wanted to. All right. So we're going to just watch the rest of the week, see how it goes. Hopefully we'll have a couple of better days. Today was a really bad day for the portfolio. And that happens sometimes. So it's going to be a bad week as far as the portfolio goes, unless we have a couple of really good days here. All right. But that's okay. We go up and down. That's the portfolio. That's why you pocket money, to kind of offset that. That portfolio will catch up later. It goes up and down, up and down. So I don't get hung up on that. But if you keep pocketing money, making trades that are making money, uh, eventually the portfolio catches back up, and then everything's lovely. Okay. All right. But anyway, have a great rest of your day, rest of your week. We'll get back on here later in the week, maybe Sunday night or so, maybe Monday night after a day of the market being open again, and we'll check back with you then. Hey, don't forget to subscribe. Click this button right over here. If you haven't already subscribed, please do that. We've had several new ones here lately. I appreciate that. And we'll holler at you later on next week, probably Monday. Thanks.